dude. What is up, everyone, and welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. You have your normal Tuesday team here. Today, you have myself, AlphaDog Bets, here with my guy, JD, from Line Movers. JD, how are you today, brother?
Doing good, man.
I'm waiting like you. Oh, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Little behind the curtains for the people watching at home. We've been having a little technical difficulties on our end. What you're seeing on the screen is not what we can currently see. So we just wanted to make sure everything came through correctly. And it is. So back over to you, JD. Yeah. All is good. How are you today, brother?
I was about to say, yeah, like everything's good. The show looks fine. So that's always a good
all that matters.
Yeah, there is definitely a good start. Yeah, from what I'm seeing on my end, looks a little funky. But yeah, man. Yeah, we finally have a full baseball slate, man. I'm like definitely pumped to actually talk about a good slate of games because last night, I mean, those were some tough games, man.
I don't even want to talk about it, but I mean, JD, we're going to have to. We might as well bring up the Monday recap now. By the way, the new Monday recap graphic looks phenomenal. I don't know if it's new, but I may have missed it because I did the weekend recap all the time for that day. So it looks good. JD, go ahead, start. How did you do yesterday? And what's up, Justin? We appreciate you, bro. And what's up, Joseph? We appreciate you too, brother.
What's going on, Joe and Justin? I only had 2 plays yesterday, so I had the tennis play that won, and then my only other play of the day was the baseball, the Dodgers and Mets over that we gave out here on the show. That one obviously did not win. If I gave out every lean I had from every other game, I would have had
you had some great leans yesterday. You were right on everything. Every single thing you predicted yesterday where we were going through the games, you were pretty fucking spot on, dude.
So, yeah, it was just one of those days where they were just leans, though, and I didn't play any of them. So.
I feel that. For me, not a great day. I also had that over in the Dodgers-Mets game. We did not cash that. We had the Athletics, who Luis Severino got bombarded early. The one big win we did have was those Padres. They had a nice win there at a good value there. We talked about that game at pretty good depth yesterday, so was happy about that. But I'm very, very happy that we have a full slate today. We have much better games and better spots to pick for today's slate. So, JD, I don't want to talk any more about this. You ready to dive into today's slate?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it, brother. First game we're going to be breaking down today is going to be Cleveland Guardians taking on the New York Yankees. New York Yankees return back home, and it's a good thing for them. They're 18-9 on the year at home. They are a very good home team, taking on the Guardians, who are a better home team themselves. The Guardians are 32-26 on the year, but on the road they are only 15-15. They are a 500 ball club. Pitching matchup for this game. Tanner Bibby is going for the Guardians. He's 4-5 on the year with a 3.86 ERA. For the Yanks, they have one of their only 2 reliable starters going tonight. They have Carlos Rodon. Los on the year is 7-3 with a 2.6 ERA and a sub-1 whip. He does have a 0.94 whip. He has had a very good year. One more thing to bring up about Tanner Bibby. He's somebody who pitches significantly better at home on the year. On the road, he's 3-3 with a 5.13 ERA. So his numbers do balloon a good bit compared to his home splits. JD, all that being said, the Yanks are a big favorite here. Are the Yanks a parlay piece for you? Do you like a first 5? Do you like a team total? What do you got?
I was about to say, I think you've already said most of my notes here. As far as the Yankees, yeah, as far as this game, I think you can only look actually their way. It's just how do you want to play them? Just like you said, the Yankees, they have been a great home team. They are 7-1. They're actually last 8 home games. Just like you said, as far as on the season, they are 18-9 at home. And also, as the favorite, they've actually played very well on the season. Yeah. They are 34-17. Then as far as the Guardians, them on the road, they have not been very good, guys. As far as their record on the road is 15-15. They're only batting .234. So, yeah, that is not very good.
No. Then to put it lightly.
Yeah. And then as far as Rodon goes, man, he is just in a groove, dude.
Which is new to see as Yankee fans because his first year with the Yankees was absolutely brutal.
Yeah. I mean, over his last 8 starts, he has an ERA of 1.27. He's just given up 1 earned run total in his last 3 his actually last 3 starts. Like I said, just in a groove. Then on the other side, we got Tanner, and how do you say his actual last name? Do you say Bibby or actually do you say Bibby?
One or the other. I think it's Bibby.
You think it's Bibby? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure. But
I do think it's Bibby, but I say Bibby.
Okay.
I'm going to continue to say Bibby. You know me, JD. If I have my ways, I have my nicknames, I have how I pronounce things. I ain't changing it.
Yeah. And you've already spoke on this. He has huge home road. His actually splits. And actually, you've already said all of that, and he is much worse on the road. Yep. The Yankees, we talked about, obviously they play well at home, and they have a lineup that I think will be able to hit him. And as far as the bullpen, the Yankees also have the bullpen edge here, guys.
Well, there is a little bad news about the Yankees stemming from over the weekend. The Yankees have lost Luke Weaver, their amazing closer for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So does that make you a little nervous? I know we're talking about the bullpen, but Devin Williams is going back into that closer role, and he has been a absolute train wreck as the Yankees closer when he's started the year in that role. Does that make you nervous for the Yankees right now?
I mean, yeah, I was just going to call him ass. But
yeah, no, best way to put it. He's been so fucking ass. Ass.
I mean, no. Do I love that? No. But as far as the overall bullpen, yes, the Yankees still have the actual bullpen edge. Like I said, it is like he the person I want closing currently. I mean, no, but we will see what happens though. Because like I said, as far as the Guardians, they're just not hitting on the road. So how I'm playing this game, I like I said, I really think you can play this in a lot of different ways. So as far as line value, I was just trying to figure out, what was the least amount of juice to be able to back them in some type of way. And for me, that was taking them on the run line. You can actually get that at plus 110. As far as the Yankees as far as their team total over, I also like that. I like it as far as their team total in the first 5. I also like that.
Wow. So you're Yankees, whatever.
It's like I said, yeah, you can really just pick away. Just like I said, I just decided to go with the run line because that was it was a plus 110. So.
I understand that. So I am also on the Yankees, but I'm taking them on the money line here, and I have them parlayed with the Marlins. Yes, I know, the terrible Marlins. We had them yesterday, but I am very confident with Sandy Alcantara on the bump tonight that the Marlins are not going to lose back-to-back games to a team that coming into the series was 3-28 on the road this year. Yet again, they're now 4-28. They did have a good win yesterday, but they did go up against Max Meyer, who we spoke about that. That was the big concern if you were taking the Marlins yesterday, is that Meyer could be hit hard. I am a lot more confident in Sandy Alcantara tonight. He's pitching, trying to get himself on a new team. Everybody knows the story with Sandy. He's one of the bigger prized pitching targets you can get at the trade deadline this year. He also hasn't been outstanding this year. He's had a couple bad starts, so he does need to string it together if he does want to get moved to a contender at the deadline. One of the teams that is looking to acquire him have been the New York Yankees, so I am parlaying the two teams. Like I said, I am taking the Yankees. I think there'll be no issue with them winning. JD, I do think they will win by a couple runs as well. I do think you will hit your run line here. But it does scare me a bit with Devin Williams back in the closer role. I do need to see it a little bit. I can see the Yankees having, let's say, a 3-run lead going into the 9th. He gives up 2. The Yanks are only able to win by 1 because we've seen plenty of those outings from him this year so far. So I'm hoping that's not the case. That is the reason I am taking the parlay, though. Yet again, the parlay is going to be the Yankees and the Marlins, and you can get that parlay at a plus 145 odds. That's exactly what I am playing with the Yankees today. Red Hot Take is asking us, when is the trade deadline? I believe it's in late July. Let me find that out for you right now. And I was typing into Google MLB trade deadline, and instead of typing that, I typed in Red Hot Take, so that should tell you where my brain is today. Give me 1 second here. The trade deadline is Thursday, July 31st at 6 p.m. So, yes, the last day of July is the last day of the trade deadline, and I do think that Sandy's going to pitch well until then. He's going to be a guy I'm going to be looking to back up until we get to the trade deadline. J-Bo's here as well. What's up, J-Bo? We appreciate you tuning in as always, brother. Bill Norman is here. I'd like to say it's good to see you, but I'm still not over your Pacers beating my Knicks. But, Bill, it is good to see you. Thanks for tuning in as always. And J-Bo is also saying Rockies won their championship yesterday. Let's hope you're right, brother. Let's see the Marlins put an absolute ass whooping on them tonight. Parlayed with the Yankees. We'll be able to cash a pretty nice parlay at a plus 145 odds. I do like the value on that parlay. All right, JD. That was a long-winded way to get to game 2. You ready to get to game 2?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, brother. Game 2, we got the Phils. We got the Blue Jays. Phillies are coming in 36-23, but they are 17-11 on the road. On the other side, the Blue Jays, who are at home, are only 31-28 on the year, so they're 3 games above 500. However, at home, they are a 20-12 ball club. What does that mean? They're 8 games above 500 at home. They're a significantly better home team than they've been on the road this year. Pitching matchup advantage definitely goes to the Philadelphia Phillies. They have Christopher Sanchez on the bump tonight. He is 4-1 on the year with a 3.3 ERA. On the other side, we have Bowden Francis. Bowden has had some tough breaks. He's had some bad games. He is 2-6 on the year with a 5.04 ERA. He's one of those weird guys that has reverse splits. Usually when I come on here and tell you how a pitcher does at home, since he's the home pitcher, they usually have better numbers, right? Not Bowden. Bowden Francis is a better road pitcher compared to a home pitcher. At home this year, he's 2-3, so he has got both his wins at home, but his ERA has ballooned all the way up to a 6.5. So, all that being said, pitching matchup Phillies, but the better team at home is the Blue Jays. JD, what do you got?
Yeah, man, when you look at this game, I mean, the Phillies have actually lost their past 4 games. With actually Harper out, they just have not been hitting whatsoever.
But the good news is,
yeah.
Go ahead.
He will be back.
Let's go.
So yes, there is some good news for them. Then on the other side, the Jays, they have actually won their past 5 games. They are heating up. They especially have some hot bats. They've scored 39 runs over their past 4 games. Me saying that out loud sounds even crazier.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Than I actually thought. And actually, then, like you said, the Jays are a great home team. They're actually 20-12 there. Man, as far as Francis, it's really tough to do, which is why I'm not going to do it in this game. But he is a guy that I'm looking to back in certain spots. Because I
want to talk about that with you. I do want to. So he's a guy I also back in certain spots. What are the spots you back him? Because I'll then go over when I like to back Bowden Francis.
I mean, actually, definitely a road start. Let's actually start there. I mean, it really depends on what team actually he's up against.
So you kind of do it how I do. So I do it a little bit differently, but he needs to be at a value of plus 140 to plus 150 or higher. When the Blue Jays are a big underdog and he's on the road, that's the type of play I like to take on a Bowden Francis because he can give you a decent game. And the team does win when he starts. He may not always get the decision, but he'll keep them in games sometimes long enough when they're a big underdog that they can pull it out late. So I agree with you. I do that with Bowden a lot.
Yeah. For me here, this is one of those until the Phillies start winning again and Harper is definitely in and Harper is doing what he does. This is one of those things where I always say it all the time. I just need to see it first.
Yep.
This is a spot where I would play the Jays, but the number is just not good enough. If you're looking at just a value play, I mean, as far as the Philly side, it's the Phillies actually all day. There's where as far as the value on the actual line is. Like I said, the Phillies, I'm just not looking to back quite yet.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite. So the Phillies are one of my favorite plays today. I do think they are going to get a big moral boost when they do get Bryce Harper back in the lineup. I do think this team, it did them well to have an off day yesterday. They needed a day to recuperate, get back in the flow of things, and they would have won their last game against the Brewers if they didn't have back-to-back errors in the 7th inning, one by the left fielder for some guy, I think his name is Wilson, someone I've never even heard of. Instead of moving back on the ball, he took his first step in, ball went over his head. It was a routine fly ball, would have ended the inning. Very next batter, when there was a guy on second, easy inning-ending ball to Trey Turner, one of the best fielding shortstops in the game. He booted it. And then next batter comes up, rips a double down the line, and they open up the game completely when they had a lead going into it. So the Phillies weren't playing terribly, but they had some bad luck, and I think having a day to reset, get themselves back in the flow of things, have their guy, the leader of this team, the heart and soul of this team, and Bryce Harper coming back in the lineup, they're going to have a big performance here. I know the Blue Jays have been hot, and they're kind of the opposite for me. I don't think they wanted to have an off day. I think they wanted to keep playing while their bats were hitting incredibly. I don't think they wanted to travel after the last series. They've been doing fantastic. So it's a bit on them having to get back after the win streak. They can afford to lose this game with how they've been playing. And the Phillies have to get it right. They have to get back in the winning column. So I do think we will see a big Phillies performance here. All right, JD. Well, I'm getting out the tweet on the next game right now because it's one of the best pitching matchups we've seen all year. Are you ready to move into the next one?
Let's go ahead and do it, man.
Let's do it, bro. Next game we're going into is going to be the Milwaukee Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds. Pitching matchup in this game is truly a great one. We have Freddie Peralta going for the Brewers. He's 5-3 on the year with a 2.7 ERA. On the other side, we have Hunter Green. If you don't know who Hunter Green is by now, I can't help you. He is one of the best young arms in baseball, throws 5,000 miles an hour. Guy's an absolute rocket out there. And on the year, he's 4-3 with a 2.63 ERA. But the thing about Hunter Green, he didn't exactly have the best. He's had one or two like bad starts, especially early in the year. But outside of those, he's been pretty lights out. And at home, he's been unhittable. At home, he's got a sub-2 ERA at a 1.8. He's 2-1. And his strikeout to walk ratio is one of the best we've seen in baseball in a very long time. All that being said, JD, what do you like in this one? Are you potentially targeting an under? I think it's an absolutely crazy total here that it's sitting at 8.5 with these two pitchers. But do you think that might be a trap? What do you think about the line being at an 8.5 total with these two dominant pitchers on the mound?
You know, I said that. Let me look at the weather, because in this ballpark, the weather has a lot to actually do.
86 degrees and beautiful at Great American Ballpark tonight.
Yeah, there's why the total is actually where it is, because it's nice and warm.
But you know what's weird as well? This total opened at a 7.5, and it didn't just move up a half run. It's moved up a full run since this opened. Because when you look at these two pitchers, without looking at the weather, without looking at the stadiums, without looking at where they're playing, 7.5 would probably be the line I'd put on this game.
Yes, it actually definitely would be. But of all the ballparks, besides actually like Wrigley Field, this is like one of the next ones as far as like weather actually like it affects this like a whole lot.
Well, outside you also have to Coors. That's one you gotta always put in that conversation.
That I think is its own.
Yeah, it's true. That's its own thing. I'll give you that. Thing,
but man, yeah, this one should be like, just like you said, a really good game. Okay, this one's a little weird, and I'm gonna say kind of some contradictory things. So just like ride with me here. If you're looking at this line, if you look at as far as like what the model numbers say, it tells me to bet the Reds. It is like there is so much value here on the Reds side. As far as on green, this number is cheap. It actually really truly is. With saying that, and just like you had said, Green has had some of his starts have just been off, and some of them he hasn't really gotten hit that like bad. But if you've been watching him, something with him's a little bit off. Like I said, it's not anything crazy, but there's something currently it's just a little bit off. So that's where in this certain spot, even though I'm showing value on the Reds, I'm actually taking the Brewers side because the Brewers are red hot.
Yes, they are.
They've actually won their past 8 games now.
Yep.
The Reds, I think in their last 5, they're like 1-4 now.
Yep. You know what I think about it as well, JD? I think you're officially at the point where you can't fade the Brewers until you lose. It's either you're betting a total or the Brewers right now with how hot they are, winning 8 consecutive games. It's kind of like the Twins like a couple weeks ago. You just couldn't go against them until you saw them lose. And I think that's where we're at currently with the Brewers.
Yeah, I like definitely agree there. And just like I said on yesterday's show, if I was to bet the Reds, I would play them first 5. Because once again, as far as the bullpen, I think as far as the Brew Crew definitely have the bullpen edge here. But yeah, man, I'm just gonna ride them again.
I respect that. I'm going to be taking the under 8.5, guys. I think it's been moved up for a reason, and I think it has been bet up, and now the value is going to be on that under, and that's exactly what I'm playing. I can't go up. I can't go against the Brewers again. I already made that mistake yesterday, taking the Reds. JD, you nailed that. We were up 2-0 the Reds in the first inning, and they did nothing the rest of the game. They hit into 5,000 double plays. They just couldn't move guys across the bases. They couldn't get guys in, and I just can't do that again tonight. I'm hoping the Reds have another stagnant offensive night. Freddie Peralta should be able to do a decent job keeping that lineup in check. And on the other side, Hunter Green, I do expect a good game from him at home. It's hard to not expect a good game from Hunter Green at home. I think he'll pitch to what he's used to pitching, that 1.8 ERA. And if we get these two pitchers who pitch even remotely close to their season averages, we should have no problem cashing this under, and it's definitely going to be one of my favorite plays of the day. So yet again, my play on this game for the Brewers and Reds is going to be under 8.5. Let's go over to another comment from J-Bo. We're actually not covering this game, so we'll bring it up now when we can talk about it. J-Bo's asking, Pirates minus 0.5, first 5 schemes is on the bump. JD, I'll let you kick that one off. What do you think? By the way, it's also crazy to see the Pirates being a favorite over the Astros at a minus 160.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my price here. What did he say the first 5? Did he give a price?
No price on it. I can pull it up, though. Let me pull it up here. First 5. First 5, Pirates on the money line is minus 190. Let's see if we can get the run line, the minus 0.05. They are minus 135 on a minus 0.5.
I can't do it at that price.
What's up, Benjamin? Appreciate you, brother.
Because I was going to say that like, yeah, the first 5 was a play, but the books are like on it here. They're all over it. With like the run line juice that much, I like can't do it. I have the run line. What I was gonna say is if you could get the run line at like, minus like 115, then like yes, but no. If it's minus 135, no, man.
What do you think about the game in general too? Because to me, this is another spot where I think there might be a ton of value on the Houston Astros. Lance McCullers is on the bump, and our guy Hefe, who was on last week, came on here and said, he hasn't pitched in years, but he's due, the due factor, yada, yada, yada. He went out and had 12 strikeouts, and absolutely he nailed what he was saying about it. Do you think that this is a Astros spot at that value? Because right now you could take the Astros on the money line at a plus 135. To me, if you can fade the Pirates at a big plus money like that with a team like the Astros, that may be worth some value. What do you think about that?
But this also, yes. Actually, yes. I actually do agree with that. But the line, once again, tells you everything. Because look at the price in the first 5 compared to the full game. This would be another one of those. This one would actually be really good to do one of those plays like I like to do a Pirates 5 and then actually an Astros actually full game. There would be a nice little fun bet.
I could see that too, because Paul Skeens really hasn't been going too deep into games as well. And you want to hear a crazy stat about him? What do you think his home record is this year, which is where he's pitching tonight at home?
It can't be that good.
It's 1-3.
Yeah.
Right now, he's a minus 160 starting pitcher with a 1-3 home record and a 3.6 ERA. Not exactly great stuff. And then he has won his last 2 starts. We will give him that, and he's pitched pretty well. And he has actually been going deeper than I thought. In his last 5 games, he's made it to at least the 7th inning, or he's gotten pulled after the 6th, so he's gone a full 6. So those are some good stats there. But the Pirates don't hit when he's on the mound. That's been the issue since last year, and it's happening again this year.
Just always has been.
For me, the only thing you could take on this game is the Astros. That's the only thing I think that's worth taking with value at the plus 135, because McCullers, if he goes out there and does what he did last game, and I do believe that was last game. Let me double check.
Yeah.
It was. So in the last 3 games that McCullers has pitched, they've won. And he's the plus 135 starter here. So I think that everything you need to know, JD put it perfectly as well. I think Pirates probably win the first 5, but the Astros end up taking it late when they bring in the bullpen, the Pirates. So I would definitely recommend taking the Astros to the plus 135 if you were taking anything on this game. JD, any final thoughts before we move on to the Diamondbacks Braves?
No, but that's if I had to make one singular play on the game, it actually would be the Astros.
Yep, so I'm in agreement with you. All right, brother. Well, let's move on to your Fighting Braves here. You guys are hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight, and pitching for the D-backs is Zach Gallen, a guy who used to be a must-bet-on pitcher. Well, I have a little news for everybody. He's not. He's 3-7 on the year with a 5.6 ERA and a 1.4 WHIP. All 3 of those stats are absolutely atrocious. On the other side, we have Spencer Strider. JD, what the fuck is going on with Spencer Strider? He is 0-3 on the year with a 4.5 ERA. I know it takes a little bit of time after coming back from injury, but 0-3 with a 4.5 ERA. Not exactly the numbers you want out of your guy, Spencer Strider. JD, this is the Braves. You have to kick us off. What do you got?
Yeah, man. As far as Spencer, man, I like think that he just needs time. Like I was saying, and actually his first few starts, a lot of his pitches, especially like a lot of his breaking stuff, it just didn't have as much break on those as he like normally had. So I think it's just taking time.
Does it scare you though? Because so if he was a 30-year-old pitcher, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. The older you are, coming back from an injury, it does take a little bit of time. My boy just turned 26. Your body recovers very quickly when you're 25, 26 years old. So are you a little more concerned that it's taking him a while to get back? Because this is going to be his fourth start in the year. And if he doesn't have it together today, I mean, he's had a long enough time to get it together, in my opinion. What are your thoughts?
It's like going to take me another couple starts before I actually
here's another question for you.
Worried.
If you weren't a Braves guy, if you weren't our resident Braves aficionado and someone on the outside, would you be a little more concerned? Because you've seen him do so well over the years, so nobody has seen Spencer Strider dominate like you have over the last couple of years. So,
I mean, yes. If I didn't know as much about him as I do, I would be a little worried, and I would honestly be trying to fade in some type of way. Actually, it's just like what I always say. He has to show it to me.
Yep.
So it would be one of those things where it would be like a bet against, like until I see it.
Yeah.
But for this game here, man, I am taking him out of it. I was just about to say, like, I don't care what he does. I mean, I personally do care.
I was going to say, I don't know how you do that with knowing who you are, but I can appreciate that.
But I'm just going to take him out of this, man. I'm just going to fade this D-backs pitching staff, man. Gallen, you just said, man, he is not the Zach Gallen we have known and have bet a lot on in the past few years here. As far as his numbers, you've already given out those. In his last 4 starts, he's given up 6, 4, 6, and 4 runs.
And how many times has his team won in his last 4 starts?
I haven't even looked, but I was just about to say, like, it like has to be none.
Big goose egg, big year, 0-4 in his last 4 starts, including a 10-1 loss to the Pirates, 4-3 loss to the Cardinals, 14-12 loss to the Rockies, and then 8-1 to the Dodgers. That's fine, but the other 3 are not fine to lose to like that.
But then the Braves actually, like, against him, they've actually done pretty well. I mean, like, the numbers aren't like anything like crazy, but they actually have done pretty well. But then when you look as far as the full games, besides their last game where the D-backs only actually gave up one run, which I was on that game, and I don't know how they gave up just actually 1 run because there was runners on base literally like the entire game.
Dancing around trouble all game, bro. Dancing around trouble all game.
But before that, the 4 games before that, the team has given up 11, 9, 10, and 9 runs. They have a bullpen ERA of 5.29, and actually that's for the whole season. If you're looking at just the past week to the past 2 weeks, it is even worse than actually that. We've been talking about this for the past 2 weeks of how bad this actually bullpen is.
Yep.
So tonight, I just want the Braves to score runs. Give me their team total over 4.5. I just between actually Gallen starting and then actually this then this bullpen behind him. I really think the Braves should be able to get to 5 runs here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Braves on the money line at a -140. I do think Spencer Strider is going to get it back together. I know I said a lot in the intro. He has not done well, but we have seen how dominant this guy can be. And on the other side, Zach Gallen is having an even worse year than Spencer Strider has had so far. And this Braves team is familiar with Zach Gallen. They've seen him plenty of times in the past. They've hit him plenty of times in the past. And I do anticipate a good performance from the Braves here tonight. We should see them, like I said, be able to get out early and hold a lead. So let's see them get at least 5 runs so JD can cash his team total, and let's see them get us the win so we can cash our money line play there. Benjamin is asking us quickly thoughts on the Nationals versus the Cubs before we get into our final game of the day. Give me 1 second here as I pull that up. You can't bet it with the line, in my opinion. So I'm pretty sure you want to bet the Cubs here, right? But at a minus 160, it's just I just don't think there's any value. And then you take a look at the pitcher. They have Horton today, and he's been okay. He's 2-0 on the year with a 4.0 ERA. On the other side is Trevor Williams for the Nationals. He's 3-5 on the year with an almost 6 ERA. But the Nationals are home. They're a much better home team. And I wouldn't take the Cubbies in this spot. JD, this is going to be a no play for me. What do you like?
Man, if you look at it, as far as the Nats bats, man, they have been hitting
Good.
the damn ball. So yeah, I wouldn't back the Cubs here. As far as value on the over, I am actually showing some there. Matter of fact, I actually would have bet this over, except I had quite a few plays today, like some ones that I really liked. So this is one that technically qualifies for me as a play, but I just didn't want to have a humongous card.
Yeah,
So,
I totally get that. Yeah, so for me, there is no play on this game. Let's move right along to our final breakdown of the game. Then we're going to get right into best bets. Last game we're going to be talking about in the day is going to be the New York Mets taking on the LA Dodgers. Yet again, it is the series of the week. It is the game of the day. Tomorrow, it'll also be the game of the day. Pitching for the Mets is Tyler McGill. McGill's 4-4 in the year with a 3.5 ERA. On the other side, we have Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw is 0-0 on the year with a 5 ERA. JD, over to you. What do you like? We just saw the Mets win game 1, 4-3. We see the Mets, they're currently leading the season series 3-1 over the Dodgers so far.
Yeah. This is another interesting game, man, because the Mets are hot. They're actually 8-2 their past 10. Then you got the Dodgers. They're a great home team on the season. They are 21-10. Really, this comes down to me why I'm not playing this is because Kershaw. We've actually talked about him a few times now, and I've said that I just need to see more. And that's where I'm still at.
You don't like his 11.25 home ERA so far?
No. So this is one where, as far as the price, this is where I have it priced. As far as the over, I am showing some actual value there. And as far as Dodgers home overs, they've been great this season. So this was a play where I was also close here. Like I said, I just had like a bunch of other plays. But this was a play where I was close to betting over here. And the Dodgers, I would definitely lean that way. But like I said, Kershaw, I just don't know, because he could come out there and he could pitch 6 innings and give up a run, and I wouldn't be shocked. Or
I would be shocked.
Well, or either he could go out there and pitch 5 innings and give up 5 runs. I mean, I'm actually just not sure currently. So,
or 3 innings and give up 7 runs. I mean,
yeah.
But the same thing is with the Mets starter and McGill. McGill's been terrible on the road this year. He's 1-2 with a 5 ERA. Kershaw at home has an over 11 ERA. Like I said, I'm seeing a ton of value on the over here as well. The bats didn't really get going last night like we anticipated, but I do think they will get going tonight in this game. Kershaw, you cannot bet on him until we see him give us a good start. And with his age, with how his stuff isn't as electric as it used to be, how he wasn't even a priority for this Dodgers team to sign in the offseason. He signed very late. That's why he didn't really start early, where they almost thought they were going to only sign him for the playoff push. Let's be honest here. That's what he's here for. Clayton Kershaw is not going to be a guy that they're going to want to, pitch 8-inning games in the regular season to where he can get hurt. They're looking to get 5 decent innings out of him and string him along till they get to the playoffs. They're building him up, so he's a good playoff addition for them. I don't think he's going to be a factor in June. I do think we're going to see a lot of runs in this game, and the over 9 is definitely one of my favorite plays on the day. I know we tried that yesterday. We didn't get it, but I do think we will get it today. These pitchers make a lot of sense. These guys have seen Kershaw a bunch in the past, and they're not going to be surprised by what he does tonight. Give me the over. Definitely one of my favorite plays of the day. All right, JD. Well, it's about that time we get into our best bets for today, Tuesday, June 3rd. How many do you have for the people today? You got 1, you got 2, you got 10. What do you got?
For the show here, we are going to go with one best bet. We're going to go back to a game that we talked about and give me the Braves. Team total over 4.5 runs. Like I said, I think tonight is a good chance for them to get their offense really going here. So,
Yep, I like that as well. Let's see that happen. For me, the Phillies are my play of the day. I do think the Phillies are going to have a big bounce back win, get themselves back in the win column, and we will see a big performance out of them. So get your phones out, take your screenshots. You can see that I'm on the Phillies as my play of the day. JD is on the Braves team total over 4.5. JD, it's been a fun show. And as you know, we'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. I like these shows where we can really fire through a bunch of games. I think in 35 minutes, we covered literally 7 because we had a couple questions from the viewers out there. Yeah. So that's what we're here for, guys. You have any other questions, you let us know. We're always here to answer it. But until tomorrow, when you'll see us again, let's cash tonight and win all of our bets. JD, any words for the people before we get the fuck out of here?
Smash that like button and let's fucking win.
Let's fucking win, brother. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.